quickly put it on the pool table.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just watch them come and all my board.
One quick question. I know it got moved from
We
here
usually
out
put it on
to there.
tables.
I know it got moved from in here out to there. And I think part of that was because when this room is getting used, it's sometimes hard to get in here to get the bread. Would that still be an issue, or do you think that that's not that big an issue?
It's been working okay with the using of the tables, Chris.
Okay.
Out in the lobby or in here?
Well, we don't have enough room out there.
Right. Okay.
So like
So-
tonight, all the tables was full, so we
Yeah.
usually set on tables, but we didn't put the tables up tonight because you folks were coming. So
Well, thank you.
we utilized the pool table, but tomorrow was the stuffing table. And when it gets low, we put it out on the table in the hallway. It
Okay.
really works great.
So it works fine?
Yes.
I just sort of thought that at one point that was an issue. Okay, great. Well, good.
And see, as it goes down, we just take the tables down, and it really goes fast, so.
Oh, okay.
We
Thank
don't
you.
get it all the time. We haven't had any for quite a while, so we're doing tonight.
Well,
And as the lunch program goes, whatever you wish to be, I'll go along with it.
Well, there's still Meals on Wheels.
Ruth was very active with the lunch program. She side by side helped to get those meals out. I think I was saying that you were very active with the lunch program, and I think took a lot of joy in doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. People don't realize it's fast, and the gentleman who had to deliver us some of it in the rain and snow, sometimes it's like up to 14 deliveries. I mean, and no complaining. We worked, the three of us worked great together, but I understand the time. Good things come to an end, and maybe something better will come from it. So I'm all right with it being changed.
Well, as Chris said also, they do have Meals on Wheels, and that's another good program that one can look at, seeing if we dropped it here. Might be a possibility too. Yes, ma'am.
I think this would be a good point to say thank you to Ruth and German and Rhonda who have done it for so long. Thank you, Ruth.
Any other comments? Yes?
Well, I think the lunch program is actually kind of a cool thing, because gives people something to do, I guess, It's kind of cool, I guess. Well, I don't need it, but I'm just saying for these people, it's like, brightens your day up a little bit, Every time I come in here and see a bush or whatever, it's like, laughing, fun, and a good time or whatever. It's like, this for you guys, and I feel like you guys need something. Because you know what, us young people have too many things as it is, So it's like well, I guess it is, cool, to have these people laughing or whatever, talking, having fun, just brightens up my day. So.
Good. Well, we hope to be able to keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
We just don't want to spring something on you, so we try to, at our meetings like this, to let you know what is happening.
Well, I'm just like my first time actually, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask a silly question? Are you Tom?
Yes, he is. Yes,
You're
he's
Tom.
Tom.
Okay, and you're...
Marshall Wheelock.
Oh, okay.
He's the good-looking one. So there shouldn't be any confusion.
Yes.
I was thinking that if there was, I would try to be part of the association that they had, and that if it's manpower they needed, I decided that I just wasn't willing to become a kitchen person. But that, if they needed a kitchen person, that's kind of something that people should think about if they want stuff think about, find ways to become more involved. I know that the volunteers that helped with the lunch were, they're just really happy about being able to help. And, that's how I got to know them a little bit. Really nice people. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, we're going to move on to some of our staff reports. I'm more than willing to stick around. Asset manager status on Melrose repairs. Mary?
Not the asset manager yet.
Well, that would be
Not yet.
Sandy still about that, but I
No, we didn't move that fast.
Looks to me like they're fixing stuff.
Sandy has in her report that the 20 last apartments are being done, and hopefully you all got pictures of some of that work. All 6 units in building 165 will be finished and are ready for their new occupants. And that will be followed by building 159, 248, and 246. And we hope to have all of those done and in the process of getting reoccupied by Memorial Day. So,
Fantastic.
very
That's
happy
good
about
news.
that.
That's really good news.
And also, we have a proposal from our architect to finish the Ledgewood Heights siding and roofing project. And we'll also be looking at addressing the drafting up through the stairway at the high rise.
Pictures are very, very nice. I said thanks Sandy for the pictures, they're very nice.
Yeah.
What are they proposing? Enclosing the stairwell?
I don't know if they're going to enclose the whole stairwell or just that top part of the community room, right? Putting a wall up there at the top of the stairs.
We had a couple comments here too on the Annie Richards building annual inspection.
Yes.
Fire department, sprinkling testing will be held on Tuesday, April 10th.
I think Sandy tried hard, and I think she was fairly successful at getting all the inspectors, of which there are many, to be there on the same day, which is, I'm sure the residents appreciate that.
Much less intrusive for the people that live there.
Well, otherwise we have 5 different inspectors going through the building, all the different, it's pretty old.
The monthly property update. Heidi? General updates. Nothing new to report. Annie Wilder Richards building in the middle of annual reclassifications, recertification, no vacancies.
Heidi, what's the wait list for that building?
How long is it?
Yeah.
I don't have a time estimate for A.W. Richards. There's only 21 apartment homes.
Okay.
And in the 2 years that we've been open, we've only had 3 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard to give an estimate for waiting time. There are some changes that are coming up and leases all being re-signed between now and September 1st. I tell people, No.
Do we have a lot of people on the wait list?
We just purged the wait list in order to get a little fresher so that if and when we have a vacancy, we know the folks on it are real serious waitlisters. But it is not very long at all, especially since the purge. I do anticipate a couple, I think, by September 1st to open up as, just natural attrition.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions on IDs, on this yellow piece of paper right here that we received?
Most of my work's been at Melrose as the asset manager indicated with 20 units. I have all of them pre-leased or we're living in if they're ready, with only 4 that are left waiting for me to find a occupant. So
That's great.
it's gone well.
Very good. We received a piece of paper, a white piece of paper here on the SASH program. A little action has been happening there, which is kind of nice to see.
Since this report was filed, we have 25 residents enrolled and 2 from the community, so a total of 27.
Fantastic.
Now, we talked about SASH here at Hayes Court. As I'm wondering if people have any idea what SASH is.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Support and services at home, meaning, probably, Chris, you could describe it more succinctly than I can.
It's a program of, support and services for people that are living in our congregate housing or in the community that have Medicare. And what it will involve is our SASH coordinator, we have a wellness nurse and other service providers sitting down with folks and doing a health assessment, and then based on that health assessment identifying programs and areas that one might look at to increase healthy living. It could be just taking a walk every day. It could be very simple things, or it could be more intricate and connected more medically with your medical providers. The individual assessments that are done are then looked at as a whole, and the team develops a community, what's called a community healthy aging plan, and that's where we would be bringing in programs that are for the majority of people living in Hayes Court, let's say, and that's what I talked about in terms of the nutrition program. If we found that there were a lot of individuals that had nutrition issues, and those nutrition issues could be best served by fill in the blank program, then we would bring that program in here, because we would know that we had, a certain number of people that really could benefit from that program. So
that's cool.
it's a good program.
That's very righteous.
Yeah, it's a good program. We're one of 6 housing entities that's involved in a demonstration of the program for the next 3 years.
That's cool. That's very
In Vermont. So.
Thanks for explaining that.
Sure, and we're rolling out the program development by development. We started at Melrose, and then we're talking a little bit at Hayes and a little bit at the High Rise, but those will be the next 2 places that we bring out the program.
Just in passing, SASH is going to be conducting some diabetes screening clinics, one of which is slated to be here, so watch for the announcement if you would like free diabetes screening.
I should mention that in order to participate, to be a participant in the SASH program, you have to enroll. It doesn't come automatically, so you got to go in and say, I want to be part of it. Sign a couple of papers. It doesn't cost anything. It's a state-sponsored program, but if you wait till you need it and you aren't enrolled, it could cause a little bit of delay.
good point.
And I'm one of the ones that's not enrolled yet.
Well, we're trying to have some initial programs so people can see what SASH is about, and then, in fact, say, and if you want more, you really do need to get enrolled, because then we get releases. One of the really great partnerships that's come out of this is with Rescue, and now we're actually, I think we were at the High Rise today talking about fire safety, am I right? And Rescue was there talking about having a ready bag. A go bag. And that was done because of SASH, because Rescue asked to be part of our SASH program, said, well, we'd like to help your residents have that bag ready, and so they hooked up with Heidi and Sandy that we're doing fire safety training for residents at the High Rise. So that's how it works.
Section 8, anything new?
There's a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes?
I just wanted to say that just before I came over on the 6:30 news, and this is concerned with type 2 diabetics, I actually am on an insulin pump, but there is an operation, a study done, but an operation that it seems like it has cured some people with type 2 diabetes. But I think it's kind of in its infancy stages, but I did just see that on television.
Very good point.
We won't be doing operations. That's the medical.
We've got to get the bread off the pool.
Get rid of those donuts. Off of the donuts.
Anything new on section 8? Or are we...
Yes, there's a couple of things in section 8. One of the questions that the Section 8 administrator has is a question of whether the board would like to have the regular Section 8 housing choice voucher waiting list opened. We're down to 75 names on the list, but those folks have been waiting 3 years. So the policy the board said was, well, if you got below 125 and the wait got less than 2 years, come and tell us. But I wanted you to be aware that we were at 75. But as you can see from David's note, if we were to open the list, we project that the new people that we put on would be waiting at least 5 years. So it's really the board's call. If you'd like to open it, we could, and we could put more people on, but we're looking at about a 5-year wait. He thinks that with the 75 names that we have on there now, we'll still have a good number of those within the next 18 months.
I gave that some thought after reading this, and I thought, gee, it would be nice to have it open so people know we're still in the business. But I don't think it's fair to tell somebody, you can get on the waiting list, and if everything goes well, we'll find a spot for you in 4 years or 5 years. That's not a way that many people can plan their lives. So I think we should hold it closed at this point, and if Dave senses a change, ask that he come back to us.
Okay.
I have a question about that with the Section 8. If it's closed and it takes about eight years for someone to get on it or whatever, open it up so people can have an opportunity to have the opportunity to at least sign up, because there's a lot of people, like me, I've been here for like 3 to 4 years, and I I personally would like to move out one of these days, you know, because I can't afford to have, you know, another apartment, you know. I'm just, you know, I'm just saying, it'd be nice to leave it open to, for, you know, some people, you know, for everyone, I guess.
Well, as I say, my feeling was that, yes, I agree. I thought it would be nice to reopen it, but the more I thought about it, the more I felt, gee, that's not doing anybody a favor by telling them that they can sign up now, and maybe in 5 years, maybe 6 years, there'll be an opening for them. They're not, if you don't sign up now, the list is closed, there's not going to be people getting in ahead of you. So it just seemed to make sense to keep it closed, and then as it, eventually, we're going to find that we can expect a waiting time of 18 months or 2 years or something like that. That to me is more workable.
Yeah, that's more workable than 5 years, you know, because, you know, by the time, you know, by the time it takes it to reopen and, you know, gets signed up, and, you know, you're just waiting.
Yeah.
It's a guessing game.
Yeah, because opening it now won't decrease, shouldn't decrease the time that the current people who are signing up would sign up if we opened it, would have to wait. They still would have to wait 5 years maybe. But if we wait till our waiting list is much lower, then they can sign up and start making plans rather than saying, gee, I'm signed up. And maybe they'll call me 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now. It's just easier, I should think, for people to make plans 2 years in advance than 5 years in advance.
Yeah, it just yeah.
Heidi?
If I might add too, administratively, to open it with such a long wait, by the time those folks did come up, what I find with folks that have been on the waiting list for a very long time is their addresses have changed. Certainly, when we initially put them on any of our wait lists, they says to please update us with addresses, but when you're moving, the last thing you think about is, you know, who needs my change of address? It's my mom and my sister, you know. And I'm finding, now that I'm doing the wait list, that purging it more often so that you can make sure that your folks that are on it are true people. Otherwise, half of the mail you send out is coming back undeliverable. So I think that's administratively, that's a big consideration. Not to mention that opening it causes a huge administration situation into our influx, which if we could do it, if it's feasible to do it, great, but 5-year wait.
Yeah.
How often is the list
I
purged?
was just going to say that.
Yearly.
Yearly?
We try to purge every list yearly.
So that, for instance, when you get an envelope back, addressee unknown, do you mark the list or do you do?
Oh no, there's a whole follow-up
there's
process.
a follow-up process.
An extensive process.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
There's a book
extensive.
this thick.
Oh, yeah. There is a big process
Yes.
to go through. I did talk to David or Heidi, I'm not sure who I talked to today, about this, and that is that after Tropical Storm Irene, the board put in place a temporary policy to allow those at Melrose to have a preference on the Section 8 waiting list and to have a transfer to other public housing as a preference, so that people affected by the tropical storm could both get Section 8 and get moved. And now that the units are coming back online, we were thinking, we didn't put an end date when that policy was put in place just for this very reason, that we didn't know how long things would go. So we were thinking that we would like to see that be as of May 1, and if you adopted it tonight, then we could get a month's notice out to everybody. We think we've pretty much captured everybody in Melrose that's been sort of thinking about, well, maybe I'd take a voucher, maybe not. And certainly I think with the preference in terms of transfers, that need has now dissipated. So if you agree, then we'd ask that you take an action to end that preference in both programs.
So moved.
Second.
Move in second. Any further discussion?
Oh, she had something to say.
Not anymore.
Okay.
No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Who was the seconder? Tom?
Tom.
The good looking.
Okay, thank you very much, that's good.
On the pink sheet of paper right here, we have a little piece from Lucy Tell. She has 25 clients as of this past Friday.
That's great.
I think it's wonderful. She, anything we need to
No,
add to
we're
that,
getting
no?
very close to the magic number in our Housing Choice Voucher Program as well, and that's really good because we've started the grant applications in those programs, and we have to have 25.
Excuse me, Lucy, what are you talking about?
Lucy Tell
Lucy Tell.
is a staff person on a contract for a program which is called Family Self-Sufficiency.
Thank you.
Yes.
If I might add, I've been being able to see the residents who she signed up, and today someone came in to report that they had gotten a job, and that was awesome. And she also helped someone else who's starting a business, and it's really working, and it's nice to see it happening.
The green sheets right here are our accounts payables. And you can take a look at them and see if there's anything or any questions that you would have on those.
It was on the second page on the agenda.
Oh, in the back, oh, yes.
Yeah, before.
Oh,
The transfer.
yeah, the full program, right. You can hold that information on the payables right here, and we'll go back to them in just a second. Excuse me, I'm just rushing myself here. Status of the transfer of the summer food program to another sponsor.
Yes, and I am very pleased to tell you that the Brattleboro Union High School Career Center will be the sponsor of the summer food program.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's really excellent. I'll be meeting with them shortly. For you, I know Heidi, you were asking me about it. They have a program called Safe Serve, and they'd like everybody to do that, and they have scholarships for people where that might be a financial burden. So it's really great. They're going to be really melding this into all of their programs, so it's a great fit, and I'm very excited.
Did they come to you? Did we go to them? How did it happen?
Well, the group, the Hunger Council of Windham County, which is part of, I can't believe Mary, the Vermont Hunger Council, that helps with all the summer food programs. We talked to them, went and met with them back in January and said, that's when it was in the paper, and this is sort of where we're at. And they were extremely helpful in talking to other people, and we actually had 2 groups that were interested in being the sponsors. This is the group that at the end of the day was the state who is the overall administrator of the grants felt that this was where it should go. There's an automatic preference in the summer food program at the federal level that if a school, if an educational public school is interested in it, they'd like to see it stay with the public schools.
Is this a student-staffed program that the students at the Career Center will be?
They will be involved in it, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's really, really great. It was a very exciting meeting to talk to them about how they were going to be putting this into many of the programs that they have.
It also gives some kids probably some jobs for the summer also.
It will,
Yeah.
yep. Yes, it will.
Very good. The first review of miscellaneous policies. Jeanette White gave all of us some miscellaneous policies right here. Does anybody have any questions on any of those?
I do.
Yes?
On the home business, home occupation, residence office, childcare, I don't know what the Brattleboro regs are for doing the home business or anything, but is there anything in this that gets input from neighbors if someone is going to do a home business or something of that sort? What I'm wondering about, I mean, if you have someone who has a home business and they have people in and out, once an hour, once, whatever, that could be really annoying to a neighbor to have people, clumping up and down the stairs or, or whatever, if it's a shared entrance coming to the front door. So I'm just wondering if there's any input from neighbors.
Well, the input in this case is that the way that this is structured, before a applicant could go to the town for the required zoning permit, they would have to get approval from us.
Okay.
So we would get the first crack at looking at this to see if we thought it was going to be a problem with residents in the neighborhood, or if there's a shared entrance and that kind of thing.
But do we have anything in place that says that that it is, people are checked with? I mean, that neighbors are checked with before something is, I'd hate to see somebody get approved by us and by the town, and then it to be, like say somebody, I don't know, it works at night or has, some kind of other kind of problems, and they're constantly running into people coming into their, their unit or something. It's just, I don't know.
Well, that's what we would be doing.
Okay, but
I mean,
we have that.
yeah,
It's informal though. It's informal though, not
No,
formal.
no, we would, the resident must get approval from the BHA.
Yeah.
So the resident must tell us, and it goes on to say this will be done by writing a letter informing the BHA, blah, 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 blah. So we would go through very carefully what the home occupation was going to be, what its impact would be on traffic. I mean, I used to be the zoning administrator, so I just go through these.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the
The
neighbors
neighbors,
are
the
involved
traffic,
in it.
noise, any of that, we would certainly consider. We'd also consider what is the projected growth of the business, because that's really where home occupations get the neighbors riled up. They start out nice and small and fit in the neighborhood, and then, if they really take off and they're whatever it is doesn't really fit, all of a sudden you've got trucks. We had one on many years ago on Chapin Street, and it just took off, and we had big delivery trucks on Chapin Street. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
So that's
that
what
the
we would
neighbors
be.
are consulted.
That's what we would be looking at, is what's the impact on the neighborhood very closely.
Okay.
And then monitoring that as the business continued.
Plus, we have a cap on how much they can grow, because we specifically state there to be no additional employees.
Right.
Which
Right.
addresses that.
Well, I mean, you can run an eBay business with one employee and have, have delivery trucks, UPS trucks, or, whatever, coming to your house, a couple of times a day with one person running it, because I have a friend who did that. And it's amazing how much traffic that brought in. So and I know there were people that were a little bit annoyed at them for doing.
Well, that's what we would be looking at.
Okay.
I mean, we would be looking at what is the impact on traffic in the neighborhood and parking and all of that. We have some home occupations that are existing, and they have not been a problem.
Yes.
Chris, I'd love it if my neighbors would come to my door and check with me before they light up their cigarettes or crystal meth or their PCP or their cigars.
I think we're talking totally two different
No,
things,
it's
Amelia.
the same thing. That's
No.
very disturbing.
Yeah, I think we're talking two different things here. You don't have to have a license to smoke cigarettes. You do have to have a license to have a home business.
What if it's not a profit organization?
It's still a home business.
still a home business and will
Okay.
still be regulated by
Yeah.
the town and the housing authority.
Yeah.
Okay.
The issue is the impact on the neighborhood and that it be kept to a size that is truly a home occupation
Okay.
and not a business that's being conducted in a residential area.
Yes?
I talked to a real estate broker today about home occupations, and he explained to me that a home occupation that does not change the character of the neighborhood, that you can do that anywhere in town. If it doesn't change the character of the neighborhood, say you can't like set up an auto body shop, because that would change the character of the neighborhood.
Right, but you still need to have a business license, and you still need to make sure that it doesn't impact your neighbors. You
I
know,
have a
and-
business.
I'm not talking about you,
Yeah.
I'm talking about just any business,
Right.
that it doesn't impact negatively the neighborhood. That's all we're questioning.
You know, drug use and smoking and alcoholics and people coming all hours of the day and night to, you know, do whatever they do. That affects neighbors a great deal.
If there's an activity that's illegal, it's illegal.
Right.
You're not gonna give a permit to somebody who's dealing drugs.
It seems
That's a police issue.
yeah.
That's when you call the police. If somebody is coming, you know, dealing drugs and coming in and out of your building, that's when you call the police and you report it.
Oh, yeah? Nice to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions on any
Okay.
of Jeanette's?
So these will be on your agenda for adoption in April.
Right. Okay.
Much easier reading than the last.
Yes, exactly. I noticed a couple of things here. The Rhea had a little note here too, good news. She notices at least the last 4 units are done. And,
Bill, I can't hear you down the side, you're down here.
no, I know that the president of,
Oh, yeah.
this would be from, no, right. Rhea had another upcoming events. So I just wanted to just check it out, and anybody have any questions on it?
Okay.
If we've been bringing it up. Heidi, I noticed we had I'm giving a 30-day notice.
I don't know why that is in the package.
Sometimes when we're copying things on the copier,
Oh,
it,
I was just gonna say.
Well, it was a nice note about how everybody's staff handled it. So,
Probably should not have been in the package. Got in there nonetheless. Some of that was information that should have been.
Just want you to know, I do read my agenda. Yeah, please.
The last sentence,
I don't even know if I've
the flood was a difficult time for all of us here at Melrose. BHA rose to the emergency with patience and compassion.
Yes, very nice.
Oh, this was a wonderful, this was a very nice letter.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Here we got a note here, FEMA assistant updates.
Yes, this is very good news. We have been, I just wanted to confirm that we have been accepted as an entity eligible for public assistance. It's only taken us 6.5 months. We have an absolutely wonderful FEMA fellow named Scott, who is coming to see me tomorrow with the last batch of public assistance worksheets. At one point, I got a call from somebody up north who said, "What's going on down there?" Well, I have more worksheets from the Brattleboro Housing Authority than any other entity in the whole entire state of Vermont. And I said, "Yeah, I like my guy Scott." So, actually, I have a gift for him tomorrow. So our worksheets are almost done, and we were able to get to submit worksheets for all the work, I think virtually all the work that's been done at Melrose. So that's a very, very nice turn of events. We have had some insurance issues with the travelers. I came back with a whole stack of papers that I need to review on that. We sent our HUD environmental review to the town, and now the town has got to deal with FEMA on a FEMA environmental review. So we're just going to let them all work on that. And today, Sandy and I had a really positive meeting with representatives from long-term community recovery of FEMA. One person in particular is a woman that has worked in public housing authorities her whole life and also works for FEMA. So she's going to be here for the next 2 weeks and visiting with funders, state people, Bob Stevens, and really looking at how we're going to put FEMA rules and public housing redevelopment rules together. There were a whole bunch of people at the table, and they were all very, very nice and really, actually this time we're here to help us. So it's a nice turn of events, and I think that we are getting some really, really good assistance. And I think in part, when you visit with the select board, you should thank Barb Sundag and Patrick and the select board, because I think they've been really sort of keeping us in the forefront of the FEMA folks in terms of needing some assistance in the long term. So
I was at that meeting, and all I can say about it, I was very impressed with the positiveness of the meeting. It was good. Good vibes.
yeah, yeah, really knowledgeable. Was it the HUD person was?
Yeah.
She started to what's your capital fund? Blah 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 blah. And everybody's going, oh, what are you talking about? It was great. So.
You said she'll be around for the next 2 weeks. Will she still be available as a resource after that?
Actually, she will leave next Thursday, and the following Monday, a new person will come in to take her place, and he will be here for another 2 weeks or so. So they're really looking at a 4-week intensive window. In fact, they're going to be, they're going to have an office in our office. Nice. That's how intense it's going to be. And working just on this issue of the rules and how do we get the work done that we all need to do. So I think that's going to be really good. And the plan is really for when they leave, for us to not have the plan all done, but to have some sense of the vision of how we go forward, what the planning lines need to be in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Okay, that's why I was asking, because I'm quite sure we're not going to have an end product in 4 weeks.
No.
And if they were, well, I'm sure that the housing authority will build a relationship with them, so we have to turn to them in the future. They will be receptive.
They will, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, these folks, they've been working, this is the team that's been working with the Wilmington Dover folks. Mm-hmm. And now they're cutting a couple of folks loose and sending them over here just to work on Melrose, because it's really high concern to FEMA and the state, and of course us.
Very good.
I'm going to jump into the financial things here, Mary. Just 1 second before I do that, though. This is in the financials, too. To write off tenant accounts receivables.
You should have gotten that. I thought that I had given this to you before, and then I was going through minutes and notes, and I did not see this in my minutes. So you may have done it, but it didn't make it into the minutes.
I don't
so I wanted to make sure that we did this.
I would move that we write off a total of $3,286.93.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Did you second that? Yes.
If I may, we've been really successful in trying to collect some of that back, so thank you for letting me clean up my books. Be assured, I still try to get it back.
Right. No, I was aware that this doesn't mean that we won't graciously accept
And
the
we've
money.
been really, it's been really successful.
Yeah, good. But,
Actually, the number of units, that is
Yeah,
not
that's-
a one
No.
amount, which is amazing.
So we can finish the financial review. Shareholders, unanimous consent.
Finish up the other. Oh, yeah. On the financial information here, shareholder, unanimous consent from the Brattleboro Housing Authority, 1063 Inc.,
Yes, it
for
was.
energy improvements.
And I read it someplace, I was going to ask about it before, and I said, where did I see that? I think that's great.
Yeah. So, Housing Vermont, or a subsidiary of Housing Vermont, is our partner in the Ann Wilder Richards Building at 1063. And they and the Champlain Housing Trust, or a subsidiary, formed an energy equipment leasing company, I think is really what it is. And that company installed solar equipment on AWR, and we, the partnership, gave them a license to do it, and we will pay them a fee every year. The whole thing is designed to save us money on oil. And at the end of, I think it's 15 years, we can sort of buy out the equipment, which is designed to last longer than 15 years. They had to borrow money, so it's a very complicated amortization schedule. And of course, they gave the whole thing to us the day before they had to close on the loan and said, we need a unanimous consent from your board. And we said, well, you can't have it. But the partnership is structured such that either general partner can sign these things. So Housing Vermont went ahead and signed it. And I said, okay, well, it seems like a reasonable deal, so go ahead and sign it. But we wanted you to know about it and not slap my wrist.
So we don't need
We don't
your
really need
consent, but we did want you to know that this transaction had taken place and that the energy improvements had been made, and that Mary very meticulously went through all of the agreements and found a ton of things and said, nobody can sign this yet. And they said, why does she read all this? That's what we're paying.
Yes, exactly.
So do we have solar panels up there? or
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
When did they go in?
In December, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, or January, I mean,
Yeah,
great.
winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're working well.
Yes, and we hope they will help.
Yeah. Very good. Now, I gave you those green sheets of paper. I'm going to go back to those. These are your payables. And the monthly check that we sign every month. Anybody have any questions or thoughts on those?
I just want to point out that the very large number in the middle of the first page, the 94,000, is what we paid the adjusters who helped with their flood insurance claim.
Well, I noticed that the amount total down here is like $250,000. So I
Easy
guess
come, easy go.
we are spending a little bit of money.
But we voided almost 25,000, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hearing none, do we have to do anything on those or no? That's the extent of my, oh yeah, the check signing. We have Tom scheduled for March, April's Marshall, and May. Anybody look like they would like to do May?
I am unavailable on the 4th of May and the 25th of May. That's part of the problem. I'm happy to do June and fill in for a person in those other 2 Fridays in May because I won't be available on the 22nd of June. So it's a little complicated.
Bill, if you can't do May, I'll do May. If you
You
can't
can
do
do
it.
May. I'd be happy to do June.
Yeah, but I mean, I was just asking Bill.
I'll do May if you're better for June.
Yes.
Okay,
Then I'll do May.
because I just did January.
Okay.
I do need somebody for the 22nd of
February.
June.
Why don't we just let Jeannie call somebody? She'd love that.
Which do you have a
I
twin?
wasn't thinking of
If you run into
Just get
it,
one.
I'd be happy to. Just live up the road and I can scoot down.
Okay.
Take a sign.
So I will do June.
And yes, Janet will do June. So we
June,
should say
right.
June. So June.
May is Bill and June is Janet. Thank you very, very much.
And if you want to put me down to July.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Oh, wow. We love it, yes.
And we take a break in August.
Yeah.
That's right. So July is Chris. Okay, very good.
I will say that I am still having to report for jury duty, so I may be calling for a friend at some point in April.
And I'll be happy to.
April and May.
Tell
both.
Jimmy to pull one of us out of a hat.
Well, that's the extent of our agenda for the day, and I'd like to go into executive session unless there's other business to come before this meeting.
So
Okay. We're going to move into executive session. Second.
A second.
Okay, motion's been made, second. No more discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Specifically to discuss legal matters and personnel, right?
Yes, right, exactly.
Have a given reason. Thank you, people.
Thank you.